Roulette 4 lost control of his aircraft immediately and ejected. Roulette 1 was able to control his aircraft and force land back at the airfield.
That's how the mid-air collision was described by RAF East Sale Base Commander, Group Captain Doug Riding. Roulette number 1, piloted by team leader Jeff Trappett, managed to limp back to the RAF base, seriously damaged. The other jet, piloted by Flight Lieutenant Dick Crispin, spun out of control and smashed into open farmland about 4 kilometres northeast of the RAF base. The pilot managed to eject from his crippled aircraft and came to earth only about 100 metres or so from where his plane itself hit and exploded. Both pilots suffered some injuries in the accident, although neither are in a serious condition. The demolished Mackie came down on the Ronalds family property, only a few hundred metres from the farmhouse and buildings. Phil Ronald saw the plane plummet to earth.
Well, I was out near the house over there and I heard like an explosion, which must have been, I take it was the injector seat of the plane, and I looked up and I seen the plane actually at the time was sort of out to the northerly direction facing towards me, coming straight down sort of thing. Then it, in the wind or whatever, sort of spun around and crashed where it is now, out in the paddock there. The collision has put a real dampener on the Roulette's extensive bicentenary performances. Displays will be cancelled for the time being, but the RAF expects the team to be back in action later in the year. The accident's the second worst in the Roulette's 17-year history. 4 years ago, 2 pilots were killed when 2 Mackies collided near Lake Wellington, not far from where the latest accident occurred. But there's no immediate plans to disband the team.
There is certainly no thought on this base that eventuality should result, but obviously that would be a decision to be taken by Air Force office in Canberra.
An Air Force safety investigation team's in Sale talking to both pilots and studying the wreckage of the demolished jet and the second Mackie at the base. Group Captain Doug Riding says a court of inquiry will be held after the investigation team has completed its job, which is expected to take about a week. He says the court of inquiry should be completed in a matter of weeks.
To be honest, I really don't know why the incident happened, otherwise it wouldn't have happened. But what I do know was that initially I thought I'd had a massive bird strike, a pelican through the windscreen or something, just from the confusion and noise levels. That was me, and then I flicked my mirror up and I could see all the canopy was broken behind me and not in front of me, and I straight away realised that one of the guys had hit me.
A 25-year-old Merbau North man, missing overnight in rough seas at Wilson's Promontory, was found safe and...
A bird had hit him. Then he saw his teammate's jet crash to the ground. Tracy Grimshaw says the accident is expected to ground the Roulettes for at least a month.
Roulette squadron leader Jeff Trappett was laid up in the airbase hospital today, tired, suffering extreme back pain and counting himself a lucky man, lucky to be alive. The team had just completed a loop formation over Sale yesterday and were reforming for the next manoeuvre when somehow the nose of Trappett's lead jet made contact with the wingtip of the jet that was supposed to be bringing up the rear.
But initially I thought I'd had a massive bird strike, a pelican through the windscreen or something, just from the confusion and noise levels. That was me, and then I flicked my mirror up and I could see all the canopy was broken behind me and not in front of me, and I straight away realised that one of the guys had hit me. I tried to look outside and couldn't see, and I looked back inside and I could see, and then I realised it was actually tears, for want of a better word, running down my cheeks.
With a hole in the canopy and flying virtually blind, Trappett's first concern was for his teammate. The pilot, 31-year-old Flight Lieutenant Dick Crispin, had managed to eject, leaving his crippled aircraft to plummet to the ground. Crispin was today in Gippsland Base Hospital suffering back injuries. Squadron leader Trappett managed to bring his jet, minus landing gear, back to the airbase.
All I can say is Commonwealth Aircraft Corporation down at Fisherman's Bend, those guys who built this aeroplane, I give them full marks because it went way outside its design limits and held together, and it's an Australian-built Rolls-Royce engine in it, Viper engine, and the darn thing didn't miss a beat, and so it saved my skin, really.
An opinion apparently echoed by the Special Investigation Team who arrived from Canberra to take charge of the inquiry today. Are you surprised at the amount of damage?
I'm surprised at the lack of damage, actually, bearing in mind that one aircraft is a pile of smoking rubble, and that the pilot did an excellent job of bringing it back without damaging it further.
As to the future of this crack aerobatics team, RAF sources tell us all of the pilots are keen to get back in the air as soon as possible. But it's believed a decision on that won't be made until the results of the inquiry are handed down, and that should take about a month. Tracy Grimshaw at East Sale Air Base for National 9 News.
Aerobatic team. And today, from a hospital bed, one of the pilots talked about a split-second decision that saved a $1 million aircraft. Ian Baker reports the collision near the East Sale RAAF base nearly cost 2 lives and 2 aircraft.
At 4 p.m. yesterday, Squadron Leader Jeff Trappett was looking at the world from his Mackie jet trainer and taking the famous roulettes through their routines for an air show at Canberra on Sunday. Minutes later, his number 4 was a wreck in the paddock below, and he was making a $1 million decision.
The initial reaction was to eject, and in fact I reached for the handle, you know, because that's what we're trained to do, but I just sort of looked outside and I could realise that, you know, that you're talking sort of split seconds, and I realised the aeroplane was still flying.
The roulette's flight was travelling at about 150 knots, which is slow by jet standards, when the collision happened. The 20-year-old Mackie jet trainers were making a routine manoeuvre called a wing over when the fourth in line came from under into the path of the leader. The impact sheared a wing tank from the second aircraft and sent it out of control.
It went nose in, and that was it. Bits went everywhere with the explosion. I was sort of flying down for quite a few seconds afterwards, bits coming raining down.
Did you run across to see the pilot? Did you actually see him come down on the parachute?
Oh, yeah, I watched him.
The pilot was Flight Lieutenant Dick Crispin, aged 31. The second aircraft, which was piloted by Squadron Leader Trappett, made a wheels-up landing. On the ground today, the damage showed how close he had come to being killed. The dented wing, paint smears beside the cockpit, a sheared front end and scorched underbelly. An investigation is continuing into the cause of the collision. The findings will go to an official inquiry.
Tonight on RPA.
And then we have to drill a hole down through the bone to place the electrodes inside the ear.
Restoring Tony's hearing with a bionic ear.
We're hoping that it'll give you the best chance for your hearing.
That's good. I was just doing nothing strenuous and it felt like somebody had stabbed me in the back with a knife.
Carolyn's aorta has split in 2 and is ready to burst.
No, that's what my local doctor said. I said I'm walking time bomb.
That's right. You can hear it ticking.
Yeah.
And a day after giving birth to 8-week premature twins, Samantha gets her first cuddle.
Okay, looking forward to having a little cuddle.
I bet, yeah. Before I get him out, I'll just update you on how things are going with him. When he first came in, he had the tube down his nose, and we took that out after about an hour and a half, and he was breathing quite well by himself. What he had then was CPAP, which is like little plastic prongs in the nose, and that was removed this morning, okay? And he's breathing very well by himself. So all I'm going to do is put a little gown on him, get him all cuddled up in a rug and hand him to you.
Great.
Okay?
All right.
Morning, how are you?
All right, thank you.
Which ear are you going to have done?
Left ear.
Left ear. OK, we'll stick to that then. That's good. So it shouldn't be too bad.
Right.
Won't be particularly sore, this operation. You may wake up just a little bit dizzy. OK, so I look forward to doing it for you. Yeah.
OK.
Come and meet your mum and dad. Here you go.
There we go, little man.
So if you just wrap the side
First.
Wrap them up a little bit in it. There you go.
Oh, look. Hello. This is your mummy. Hello. Oh, my little head. So little. Shh. Oh, a big, nice squeezy hug. Gosh, got 2 of these.
I know. You can have your hands full.
Yes.
What I want to show you is what I've got to do in Tony's case. I've got to insert this inside his ear. And they've got this little model, and this actually gives the size of the inner ear or cochlea. And what we have to do is insert the electrode array inside the ear. Now you can see you've introduced it and it's going into the cochlea. It's in. Now the next move is to remove the wire without removing the array. Now, do you see the cochlear implants beginning to go inside the ear? And now you can take the whole thing out, I think.
Daddy's little boy.
He likes you. He's happy there.
Got my little picky nose, haven't you?
Is he quite active? Does he?
He's actually been, no, he doesn't much in there.
No?
We create what we call the Clayton's uterus. We create nice big boundaries for them because in the uterus they have boundaries there to push against. So we try to create, well, obviously we can't do that good a job, but we create something with boundaries and they find themselves very secure and it reminds them of being all...
He was very fidgety in the
Was he?
room, yeah, so he was always moving around and
Well, he likes our Clayton's one.
Yeah.
It's very content.
Yeah. Perhaps Dad's going to be more popular than Mum.
Right. Now this little bit here I have to do is the hardest part, I think, of the operation. We have to make a hole backwards to place the rest of the implant. So here's the dummy of the device.
So that's a pocket for where the device is going to go.
That's right. It's as if he's been super glued his scalp to his skull down here. Now I just put my finger in just see if there's any little strands around. No, see if it'll fit in. There he goes. Now that looks lovely. So that's going to be the position of the implant back there. And then we're going to drill the mastoid here and the array will go forwards from there. So now we're on to the drilling part of the operation. We have to drill into that bone just behind the ear where your spectacles rest. So here we go, on with the drill. And now we just... This is the bad news bit. It sounds like the dentist, doesn't it? Awful. The drill we use is much the same, as you can see, as the dentist used. I might bring the microscope in. I think that must be the sinus there.
So you've drilled through the outer layer of the skull and into the bone behind the ear.
I'm just going to make it a little bit larger. Go. I guess you have to make quite a big opening, actually, for this new implant. Bigger than I normally make.
Oh, look. Two little old men. Look, the ears all bent up. There we go. Oh, they're happy now, look. They look wonderful. They look good together. It's good to see them together.
That's your brother.
Been kicking each other for the past few months.
Yeah.
Them little lads. A couple of thugs, don't they?
Hello. Yes, who's that next to me? That's what makes it all worthwhile, this.
You right? Yeah. Oh, I got the lucky draw.
That's a good boy.
Not funny. Stop laughing. It'll be your turn next time.
Now, use the nappy to get as much off as you can. Hold both legs like if you can. Excellent.
Okay. Yeah, nice, murky one there.
Okay, now just put that down. That's right, and here's a couple more. And you need to get right into both groins.
Hey, stop wriggling. It's just not.
That's it, go right in there. That's it. Goodness, we're the ones that should be crying.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy.
So now we're going to drill a niche in the skull to fit the implant. Go. And we just drill a nice circle. to the implant. OK, stop. The measurer. Just see if it fits now. Yeah, that's fitting now, but it's not quite steep enough. In children, you do expose the lining of the dura, yes, please, which is in fact the lining around the brain when you do this bit. But in adults, it's rarely necessary to go right down to the dura
because their skulls are thicker.
The skull's much thicker. Nearly there. There. That's it. Thanks, William.
Pardon? Yeah, you just take the baby with you, right?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get that.
All right. Okay, that's good.
How much you weigh?
197.
197, that's good.
So now we're going to make an opening now into the cochlea. OK, go. You can see the hole now is developing into the cochlea. Yeah, I'll make it just a bit bigger because of the new array.
So we're looking into the inner ear.
We're looking into the inner ear. You're looking down the basal coil there. Do you see that little bit of bleeding just coming from the edge? Whether I might like to just stop that with a little bit of adrenaline. The amount of bleeding in this operation is equal to about 1 thimbleful, so it's not, but it's just that under the microscope, we're working at about 16 times magnification. So this is it. This is the new technology, the latest implant. And there's 2 electrodes on it. Be very, very careful of it. This is the ball electrode, and this is the piece that we got to place inside the cochlea. So just pop him back towards where his socket is. And see, it fits beautifully, that, into position. Now, we've got to make sure the electrodes point on the inside. So that's got to go into there. Now, what I have to do now is I have to remove this little wire here.
Which is keeping it straight.
Yeah, which keeps it straight, so it'll curl around the ear. So there's the wire.
Yep.
There. As I'm doing that, I'm pushing it in. You see? And then the wire's coming out.
So that will be coiling around the cochlea.
Now we're going to just check its position. Yeah, it's ideal, OK? Yeah. So that's perfect placement.
All right, here we go then. Time for the big dunk. Here we go. What's this, look? What's this? Is that nice? See? That's nice, a bit of a float.
And now we start the testing, and we're testing the electrode that's the furthest inside the ear now. Yep. And if there's response, it'll come up on this screen here. Yay! Look, that's a beauty.
That's a beautiful response.
Absolutely beautiful response.
That's the innermost electrode.
For a guy that was completely deaf, that is fantastic, because that looks like a hearing person's response. So that's great. So he's hearing. He hears those sounds. If he was awake, he'd hear the sounds.
Listen, we'd just like you to go over again, how this all started. Can you just describe what happened on the day?
Yeah, I was at work and I was just doing nothing strenuous, and it felt like somebody had stabbed me in the back with a knife. Yeah. And I couldn't get my breath.
Did you look around to see who was there?
Yeah, I did, actually. And I couldn't get my breath, and I was sweating, and everybody at work panicked, naturally. They all thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah. Is that what you thought as well?
Well, yes, actually. I'd never had one, so I didn't know what it felt like. So.
And it was pretty severe.
Yeah.
Come with my little munchkin. 178.
Okay.
178.
What actually happened at the time you had that severe stabbing pain was this dissection of the aorta. And this area here is where the dissection has come off and the wall of the aorta is split into two channels, like this. So two channels coming right down into the belly, and there's a little connection between those two channels here where the blood flows from the aortic arch down into this false channel, the false lumen, and the rest of the blood flow still comes down this channel here. And because of all the blood flow coming down this false lumen, this is actually enlarged quite a bit this way and also this way. And unfortunately, the second channel, what's called the false channel, has a very weak wall. And you understand now that that wall has just gradually been enlarging like this with time. And as it gets bigger, the wall is thinner. It's a bit like blowing up a balloon.
Stretching, yeah.
It's stretching the wall. And one day that wall can stretch so much that it bursts internally, which is not a good thing to happen for anyone.
No, that's what my local doctor said. I said I'm walking time bomb.
That's right. Yeah. You can hear it ticking.
Yeah.
Well, it's finished.
Oh, good.
Be pleased to know.
How is
and yeah, he's well. He hasn't completely woke. He woke up once and he's gone back to sleep again, but you'll see him shortly. But the good news is all the electrodes went in.
Oh, good.
And we're tested it extensively.
Oh, what happened?
And all the electrodes are working, and he's giving a lovely hearing response from all his different electrodes, so we're very optimistic that he'll do well with it.
Oh, we will.
He
if it's
won't be long.
perseverance, he's got it.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
Now, I don't know if he'll be dizzy or not. If he's not dizzy, if he really wanted to, he could leave tonight, but otherwise we'll keep him till tomorrow morning. Yes, yes, there shouldn't be much discomfort. This is the first step, and he's certainly, everything's gone beautifully. So now we have to wait.
Yeah, how long?
About 3 weeks for everything to settle down.
So I ring
and then
Monica.
the most exciting time will come because you'll be able
that's
to
what
see him
Tony's looking forward to.
when he starts to hear.
Oh, of course
So that's
he will.
good. I'm glad it's all done.
Thank you very much.
Now, this area here is where we need to pass the device. So you understand this will be compressed inside a catheter about the size of this pen. So this all gets compressed down like this, gets fed inside this tube here. The tube comes up, and when it's in the correct position, then the device is released inside the aorta. So it ends up sitting in this position here.
Yep.
And it will curve around here. It will direct the blood down this true lumen, and it will block off the entry site, this entry site into the false lumen. So it will take all the blood out of the false lumen, take the pressure off that, which has two benefits. Firstly, it allows the true lumen to open up correctly. Secondly, it takes any pressure out of here, so there's no longer any risk of this bursting. There are actually some tiny little hooks as well which dig into the wall to stop it moving, because the blood flow wants to make it move down.
Oh, yeah, I can
So the
see
little
that,
hooks grab into the wall, a bit like anchors, and they stop it from moving down. And then it curves around into this line here.
It's not a bit like I expected it to be.
No, it's an engineering marvel, really.
But I can see how it works now.
Yeah. And you do understand that this is a relatively new operation. We've done several hundred of these cases inside the abdomen, the belly, but to do it in the chest is less frequent. But you know that there are a few risks. It's possible that the blood flow within the false lumen may not clot off correctly. And if that happens, we may have to come back and put a second one of these devices in place. The worst thing that can happen is that because of blockage of the blood flow to the spine, it's possible that we can cause paraplegia.
Hello, you ready?
Yes.
4 weeks to the day.
Oh, good. It's exciting when they go home, isn't it?
It really is. It's so many emotions, sort of mainly happy, but it's just it begins today as well.
It does,
So we've become a parent full-time, so that's good but scary.
Yeah. You're a bit nervous?
Oh, very nervous, but very sort of at the moment, the excitement's taken over, and but I'm sure I'm sure the nerves and excitement will all go, and then it'll be reality. And
you'll get used to the noises real quick. So
hope so, because yeah, I know I'm gonna be a nightmare. I'm a nightmare. They're not home, so I keep dreaming about them. So.
Oh dear. Sorry. She's still asleep.
Still asleep.
Oh, like a little angel, look.
Sid's crying. And at the moment, Henry's fast asleep, which is the way we want him. They've got this sky blue and white outfits for Man City.
Hey, Mum.
How you going?
All right.
You look better. Much better.
Ready to go home soon, so it should be good.
Gotta wait till the doctor comes.
It's already came.
Oh.
So the doctor said I'm ready to go home.
Oh, great. Yes.
Look good in there, so no trouble.
Right, great.
It's already
There's
come.
no hurry.
Oh,
We've got
okay.
plenty of time. We'll just wait till you feel a bit better.
What's that?
This is what Professor Gibson told us when before you came back.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, Professor again said they tested the cognitive impairment when you were still asleep, and it was the best sign they have.
Signal.
Signal.
Yes.
They have great hay.
Yeah.
Head or hay?
Hay. Yeah.
Okay. Professor was very exciting, okay. 3 weeks, 3 weeks mostly, we were trying to sound switched on. Good job.
Great.
Well, that's good.
Oh, it's a bit bright for her.
Sid and Henry continue to make good progress and have returned with their parents to
Bring
England.
Henry around and put him in that side. Is that how we do it? That's the way.
Next week,
It's time to turn it on. Okay, are you ready?
Tony says goodbye to a world of silence.
And it's going to be loud. Okay? I'll turn it down first and I'll bring it up slowly. But you will hear everything.
This is the...
And the simple device that will save Carolyn's life.
It's just flushing through the guide wire channel. You see the fluid coming out the other end of the catheter. So that's all primed and ready to go.
Tonight on RPA.
This area here is where the dissection has come off and the wall of the artery is split into 2 channels. They're actually
Ready to burst, Carolyn's aorta needs urgent repairs.
So this all gets compressed down like this, and when it's in the correct position, then the device is released inside the aorta.
It's mainly an abrasion. There's nothing that needs to be stitched, but it will put in some special medicine so it goes nice and numb. And then
A dilemma for 11-year-old Adelaide over a schoolyard graze.
Tim will tell you exactly what he's doing.
darling. What I've got to do is put the needle in really, really quickly.
Watch me. How do you feel?
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
And 1 month after his operation, Tony's new style bionic ear is put to the test.
Hello.
yeah.
Come in.
All right.
How long have you been without any sounds at all?
How long will I be?
Have you been without any sounds at all, in silence?
8 months.
That is a long time.
8 months, yeah.
Yeah. So what I think will happen is that once the implant is switched on, it's going to sound very loud.
Right.
The implant is not going to play sounds. It's not like a stereo. It's not going to do the hearing for you. It's only going to put tiny bits of electrical impulses on the nerve. Right. And your brain has to make sense of it. But if you could do that with a hearing aid before, an implant can help you.
Right. You've got to learn to listen all over again. Yeah. You've got to learn to listen for things and say, yes, I know that sound, just like you did when you were young.
Morning, Carolyn.
Morning.
How are you feeling? All ready to go?
Yep.
Just going to start the anaesthetic now, Mrs. Delaney, so you'll start to feel sleepy soon. It's just going to sting a little bit as it goes up your arm. You'll start to drift off to sleep soon.
Nice deep breaths for me.
This here is called the headset. This is a microphone.
Microphone, yeah.
Like the hearing aid. Then the sounds go through the cable.
Into that, yep.
Into this, which is really...
right.
It's a computer, yeah? It's not a hearing aid. The information will go through this antenna to the implant. And then the implant will allow bits of electricity to go through the electrodes onto the nerve. And from that point, your body will do the rest of the analyzing of the sounds and interpreting it as speech sounds or sounds around you. So be prepared that everything will sound a bit strange.
Right.
So this is the device that we'll be using for Mrs. Delaney, and this is the catheter that it's loaded in. In fact, this is the device lying here within its delivery sheath, and this is positioned in place across the aorta and is then released when we're happy with the position. And once it's released, it opens up to a device of the same length and this diameter, lining the aorta internally.
Can't hardly see anything. So the cut goes from there to there. It's healed very well. Bit of dry skin. You can put sorboline on the dry skin, that's all. So this is, now we have to find where the implant is. Ah, and there it is. It just sticks. Just move the hair away a little bit. And the microphone sits there. Oops. His hair will flatten over that point.
He might need a haircut.
Just turn it around. Actually, it's not necessary, really.
I just have a little see, I know where they are.
Yep.
Right. OK. Gotcha.
Is it heavy? Is it heavy?
It's all right.
Yeah? Don't feel anything?
No.
No? OK.
Only when I touch it, I do feel it, but without it, it just feels like nothing.
Okay. That's just flushing through the guide wire channel. You see the fluid coming out the other end of the catheter. So that's all primed and ready to go.
No, that's just nothing.
Let's just go with the device now so the trocar's out. So if you just feed the wire in there for me, Andrew.
Get it down a bit closer here to the middle. Wow.
That goes through pretty easily. So.
Okay. So you're ready to okay, good.
Don't do it until this goes right through. Okay.
I'm going to let it lead till the sheath, till the device gets through.
Okay, good now.
Thank you.
Excellent. You can just do a little clip there.
Okay.
It's time to turn it on. Okay, are you ready?
Is he going to hear anyone speak?
Do you want to... Yes, of course.
He will.
But it's probably not going to make any sense. No. It probably doesn't make any sense. And it's going to be loud, okay? I'll turn it down first and I'll bring it up slowly.
Well.
But you will hear everything. Do you want to come closer? Come on. Okay. Hello? Hello?
I don't believe that. Getting too loud. Getting too loud.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can.
Yeah?
It's definitely too loud.
I know, but just wait a while. You will get used to it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Got it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's wrong? I won't talk. I'll be too loud.
Yeah.
You did really.
Yeah.
You all right? Sure.
Yeah? It will only get better from now on. It's working beautifully. Yeah?
Yeah.
But it's like a baby. It has to grow.
Yeah.
There's the tissue.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Sure.
Is my voice still very, very loud?
Yes. It's very different between my voice and your voice.
That's good. Yeah, that's excellent. My voice sounds different to yours.
Yeah.
And you are already picking that up.
It's just the way I always want it, be normal.
Very normal.
So how exactly did you do this?
I skidded over.
In the playground. What were you playing?
Bull rush.
Bull rush? Now, I can't quite remember how you play bull rush. What do you do in bull rush? Is that where you have to run between each end and someone tries to catch you? Is that pretty sore?
Yeah.
It's mainly an abrasion. There's nothing that needs to be stitched, but it is a bit gravelly. And most probably, if we just leave it like that, it'll heal over, but it's likely that there'll be some, what we call traumatic tattooing. Some of the gravel will almost, will be embedded in the skin and cause a permanent sort of tattoo. So the best thing for us to do is we'll put in some special medicine so it goes nice and numb. And then we'll just give it a clean, just with a little brush. And we'll put a dressing on it and we'll let you go home. You look a little bit worried about that, don't you? Have you ever had any needles before?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the graft inside the catheter now. We're now going to advance up to the aortic arch. I think I'd just like to advance the wire a little.
Going very easily around the curves.
It's proceeding nicely around the arch. And we can see the device in good position. So here's the position we've marked for the device to be located, and you can see the distal aspect of the device, the metal ring there, indicating that we're now in pretty good position. It's perfect. So I'm very happy with the positioning there. We can bring the guide wire back a little. We're ready to deploy it. Can you see that on the screen?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
You see flow in both channels?
Yes, and this is the catheter deployed here prior to inflation of the stent. And in just a minute, we will see obliteration of this cavity when the stent is deployed. And you'll see that there'll be no more flow in this top lumen.
We might give you some laughing gas or some happy gas, then fix your knee up while you're feeling happy. You might even get the rest of the afternoon off school. What do you reckon?
Laughing gas, huh?
Laughing gas hurt.
Could we suspend respiration for a second, Barry? I'm just going to bring this back a little, Andrew. OK, respiration stopped. OK, we're ready to deploy. OK, here we go. Here it goes to deploy. OK, the graft is deployed.
All right, the stent is deployed there and the cavity's obliterated now. And up in the top lumen there, the false lumen, we can see no colour anymore. We see these little bubbles suggesting that suddenly the flow into that stopped when the stent was deployed.
And it looks to me as if it's moved back about ½ centimetre, which puts it into perfect position. So here's the device. Just here next to the large, you can see the big shadow of the probe. Here's the outline of the device, tapering down as it comes down into the distal part of the channel. And it really looks to be in perfect position.
So what we're going to do in a second, I'm going to get your daddy to just hold this mask up to your face. You want to have a look at it? It doesn't hurt. OK, you want to have a look at that? It's a bit like some goggles or something that you might go swimming with. Do you want to just put that over your face and see how it fits? That looks like a pretty good fit. And all we do is we just connect it onto this little thing and we just blow some air onto it. So what we do is we put this together. You can hold it with your own hand if you want. Do you want to give it a little go and see how you feel?
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi.
How are you going?
Good. Bit dopey, but...
Are you? OK. Well, listen, the operation went beautifully well. Couldn't have been better, really. You came through it wonderfully well. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
You did a great job. We got the graft into the perfect position, and the X-rays and the ultrasound test at the time showed it was doing its job, blocking off that false channel, blocking off the aneurysm. And we did block off the blood flow to this left arm, but the arm is fine. Does it feel bad at all? Or?
No,
Okay.
it's good.
What that's done is blocked off the pulse here, but there's still blood getting through the side channels, and that's all very good.
Oh, great.
OK.
Yeah.
See you later on then.
Much,
OK.
Doctor.
See you later tonight.
Bye-bye,
Okay.
yep.
Bye-bye.
Do you want to take a few deep breaths for us and be really brave? And then we'll all be done.
You know how to do it now. You're becoming an expert.
I'm done.
There you go. Just pop it over your mouth there. That's it. Great.
You take a
Couple of
few
big deep breaths so we can hear that frog make the noise. Tim will tell you exactly what he's doing.
Not a needle.
What I've got to do is put the needle in really, really quickly. Okay?
Not a needle, Dad. I hate needles.
Oh, of course you do. Of course you do. If you have a few deep breaths of that special stuff and hold really still, it'll be over before you know it.
No, Dad, I don't want a needle.
Addie, it's going to be...
Come on.
Okay, sweet. Have you ever been bitten by a mosquito?
Good morning, Carolyn. How are you going now?
Good.
That's a bit better. You got a few of those tubes and things out?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get some breakfast?
I just started. I had a cup of tea. That's what I wanted more than anything.
But how's this left arm been?
Very good.
OK. Well, you understand that we did do that blockage of the artery up here, but the blood gets around the side channels and comes down here. Hasn't been sore overnight?
No.
OK. You might find that that this is a little bit sore when you do things with the arm.
Yeah.
But it should gradually get better. You can see it's a little bit paler now.
Yeah.
Because of that blockage, but we don't think it's going to cause any significant trouble.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole operation? Was it all worthwhile?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I can even breathe better now than what I did before I came in, so...
Yeah. But you can breathe better too, can you?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's possible that the aneurysm might have been pushing on your windpipe a little bit.
Yeah.
And that could make it easier for you to breathe.
All right.
As we discussed yesterday, it is possible that this device could move later on.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the future, perhaps it might be necessary to put another one in, but we'll just have to wait and see. OK?
Dr. Owen's going to help me just by keeping your leg really, really still.
I don't need it to be still.
No, you do, otherwise it'll be...
Only a few seconds.
Only a few seconds. So take a few deep breaths.
Just 1 second, just like that.
OK.
Yep. Have a few deep breaths.
A few deep breaths,
Few
darling.
deep breaths.
If you have a few deep breaths, you'll feel better.
Okay.
Come on.
It'll all
Only
be
1
over
second, you promised it.
before you know it.
I better be quick then.
Promise. Only 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, have some deep breaths with this one.
I don't like it.
You poor darling.
Girl, just take some deep breaths. And don't watch Adelaide. Adelaide.
No.
Addie, come on. You've got a real fear of needles.
No.
Come on.
Well, it's up to you. If you want me to start cleaning it while you're just breathing the gas, that might be enough. Will you try that? Yeah. And if you want me to stop, you just tell me to stop, and we'll talk about whether it would be better to have the needle after all. You're very brave. Maybe you were right after all. Maybe we didn't need to use that needle.
Girl, God, you are brave.
Ouch,
That stuff hurts. That stuff. Okay.
Oh, and you wouldn't be able to get me a drawing up needle?
No, no needles.
No. I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do. We just use it like a water pistol. You want me to squirt Julie?
No.
Squirt you in the face? OK, that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit there and squirt your leg. There we go. Boy, it is looking so clean there. Absolutely no needles for you. I must say I'm a bit surprised that she's letting us do this just with the happy gas, but you learn something every day.
You see your knee now? Looks a bit better, doesn't it?
Would you like a cup of coffee?
Would you like a cup of coffee?
Wow, this is brilliant.
Just for today, it might be an idea if we leave it low, just so it's not a shock to you.
Well, whichever.
Yeah. Can you hear me all right?
Can you hear that?
I can hear it, but there's something in there in here.
What is it?
He wouldn't have heard a jug before, of course.
Sort of like a battery sound.
It is.
Can't make out what it was.
It's something to do with coffee.
It's a jug, I think. Got that on it?
Yes.
I can hear that. Couldn't figure out what it was.
He normally feels it.
I tell you what, this week will be so exciting. You will have 100 of these things happening to you. You will hear so many new things. Can you hear me from here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I still hear the kettle slowly blowing down.
That's right. How many sugars do you want?
2 sugar.
You got that without lip reading because I covered my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want milk with that?
Just blue.
Well done. Wow.
I think you're a champion. Well, hope we don't see you later. And maybe next time you'll get to the other end of the bull rush game. OK. Here you go.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Take care.
Thanks a lot.
Another average day at the office.
You lead an exciting life anyway.
The best job in the world.
I think it
See you
might
later.
be, you know.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
See you
very much.
tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
The loudest kiss you've ever had.
Yeah.
That was the loudest kiss you've ever had.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
In the 4 months since his operation, Tony has regained his confidence and is already looking for a new job.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you pretty well.
Can you that good?
Yeah, I can still hear the rain dropping.
Oh, you can too.
Yeah,
I didn't
still
saw it.
hear.
Oh, yeah, and a little bit shaky still.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And in the 3 months since Carolyn left hospital, she's had no major complications. When RPA returns October 5...
To me, leukemia sort of meant an instant, death sentence.
Craig has less than a year to live, unless he receives a life-saving bone marrow transplant.
One half of me is very excited in the fact that tomorrow I'm going to get a chance to hopefully go on and live a full life.
So the letter from your GP says the breathing's been getting a bit worse lately, has it?
Yeah, it has. It has. It seems to be at an accelerating rate, deterioration. Yes.
And experimental surgery for journalist Jim Downs, once with 4 corners, now with emphysema.
So, yeah, it's caught up with me. I'm paying the penalty now for all those years of loyal consumption of the product.